Welcome to Conversations with Klana, made for the modern woman who wants to raise her self-esteem, increase her satisfaction, and build happy and loving relationships with herself and others. More and more, women feel they have lost their spark and the connection to themselves and miss deep intimacy in their lives. Rather than accept a life that doesn't shine, they want to change to one that does. Join the conversation each week when Klana and her guests explore practical ways and positive solutions to living a new, authentic life based on self-love, connection, harmony, and joy. Now, here is your host, Transformation Catalyst, author and speaker, Klana.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Klana. Welcome, Pat.
Welcome, Klana. It's so good to see you and be here with you.
I am the same. Love to have you here. So I quickly want to introduce you to our listener and watcher.
Yay!
Oh, this lovely lady here is Pat Alva Kraker, and she is an award-winning serial entrepreneur with businesses in business consulting, real estate, private lending, renting, and
Ibuumerang.
Pat has combined 35 years as a project engineer with companies such as IBM and Lockheed Martin, 10 years in real estate, and certifications in Reiki and Polarity therapy into a unique business consulting practice. Pat is the author of the forthcoming book, Katherine's Quest, One Woman Journey to Elation, which will be released this fall. So welcome again, Pat.
Thank you, Klana. What a pleasure to be here with you and to make an impact with your audience. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess you will. Let's start at the back end. Your book, what is this about?
Yes, my book, Katherine's Quest, One Woman's Journey to Elation, is a book about a woman who loses hope. Mm-hmm. She loses her job, her business, her marriage, and wakes up one day and says, what am I going to do? Where do I go from here? And through a journal that she finds in a trunk in her attic that was written by her uncle, he starts unraveling a journey to his way to elation. And she starts to embrace that path for herself and finds hope and happiness and what it is to live a life of choice.
Wow, cool. Yes. So you made me curious and hopefully others too. And where are you going to publish it? Where can they find it?
Right. So right now it's available for pre-order on Amazon.
Of course.
And we will have a sangria and guacamole release party September 22nd, when it will be then available for download on Kindle, and then 2 weeks later available for hard copy purchase. And you can go to my website, majesticcoachinggroup.com. And starting next week, you'll be able to download chapter 1 and get an idea of what life is like for Katherine and excite you about buying the book. So please visit.
So Pat, you are such a powerhouse. Are you doing all these things?
Yes, I am actually doing all of these things. I'm actively working with my book, coaching women who have businesses in real estate and information technology, because that's my background. So I chose to make an impact with helping women scale their business consciously with ease and grace by connecting with them in industries that I actually am very, very familiar with. And it is a balancing act, right? Everything is a balancing act. And so in order to be able to do all of these things, it becomes one of self-care and prioritizing your time.
Exactly. This is the topic somehow here, because as you know, my big topic is self-love in all shapes and shades.
Yes, I love that.
And this is why I invited you, Pat. How are you dealing with all those things? And do you have some recommendations to tell busy women like you are, and a lot of us are very busy, how to recuperate, how to take enough rest and stay with yourself?
Right. And Klana, I have to tell you a little history of how I became so conscious about self-care. In 1996, I learned that I had breast cancer. And it was a big wake-up call for me. Because if you take a look at diseases that we experience, they really start at a deeper level, at a more spiritual level. And what I ended up learning about the connection with my history with breast cancer is that I supported everyone else, my friends, my family, my husband first, before I supported and took care of myself.
Wow.
And it was a big aha for me to learn the connection with always giving and never giving to myself.
I hope that rings a bell with a lot of women out there, because they are doing exactly the same.
The same thing. We're the last one on the list.
Yeah, we are conditioned like that, aren't we?
Yes, we are. My mom was the same way. My grandmother was the same way. All my aunts, they were all the same way. Last on the list. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
But I have changed that drastically. You too, did you?
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, once I became aware what was happening and that I needed to start living my life differently and making different decisions. Then I started looking at, my work environment. I was on a job where I was traveling 80% of the time, and then turning around and helping my husband with the ranch business that we had. And I basically had to do a halt and say, okay, something has to change. I have to make my health and my sanity number one in order to really support everyone else. And I chose to really go into healing myself through alternative medicine and traditional. So that is what was a catalyst to learning Reiki and Polarity and changing my diet and healing myself with oils and massage and energy medicine. And once I became aware of that, then I said, I have my own medicine cabinet here for anything that really starts surfacing so that I can start healing myself in a variety of ways. So my healing also became a mind, body, and soul healing. So the importance of bringing in meditation, learning how to say no, which is a biggie for women, which is my number 5 for 7 self-care practices for busy women, is to be able to say no. And that's very hard for us when we're always the ones that are wanting to support and make a difference in the community and the family at work. We say yes, even though we don't mean it. And sometimes we say yes and we say, why did I do that? And now you're committed and you're drowning in work and in responsibilities. So I had to learn to say no. And I say no more often than I say yes now.
Bravo.
And yes, I say no more often than I say yes now. And I have a criteria. So my criteria is that it has to move me forward, align with my passion, support my family. And if it doesn't meet that criteria, I don't do it.
Very wise.
Yes.
So the first thing is you need to create some kind of awareness for your situation, and hopefully before it comes to such a sickness or illness like you developed. And then it needs a little bit of practice and patience to change your old patterns.
Right. Now that is so true. Because it does come down to patterns and habits, which we all know take at least 21 days to form a habit. So once you decide that you do want to make a life change and start making yourself number one, then you have to consistently practice that.
Yeah.
And it's also about setting boundaries, because once you start taking care of yourself and making yourself number one, then people around you are going to wonder, and they're going to say, what's going on with Pat? How come she's changed? And so it's very important that once you start establishing boundaries on things that you will not do, things that you will do, that you start communicating to others the new outlook on how you're going to take care of yourself. And really becomes very important to model that when you're around other young women in your life, your kids, nieces, your aunts, sisters. It's important that you become that model so they can see that there is a better way of living. And it's through self-care. Because my grandmother used to tell us, if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is. No one is going to take care of you like you would for yourself.
That is so true. And sometimes we are searching for things in our outer environment instead of us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is so true.
Yeah.
So
true. And this is also something that you give to your clients, these informations?
Absolutely. So part of self-leadership begins with self-care.
Yeah.
And we have a discussion on how are you taking care of yourself? What are you doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis to take care of you? Mm-hmm. And I, put them in a situation where they are having to take action and come to me and say, okay, we're going to create a morning routine for you that allows you for the first morning of the day to be your most powerful morning. And that's from a mind, body, and soul perspective, where you can actually spend some time doing meditation, visualizing your day, taking moments to move your body, eat the right foods, and focus on the things that are really going to make you happy and move you forward. So we absolutely start with a morning routine that is all about self-care.
Mm-hmm. This is also something that I love to do with my clients. It's so important since I discovered that I haven't done that all my life.
Yeah.
No, I have not, because I wasn't aware of those things at first. So this is really a development, mm-hmm. Self-development, like you say, exactly.
I know. And we're not, in our culture, it's not part of something that we're taught. It's not part of something that we're taught in school. Corporations are slowly bringing it in, but it's taken them a long time to bring in the self-care options for their employees. And it becomes more and more important that we really take responsibility for our own health and well-being. Mm-hmm. And when I talk about self-care and optimum health, for me, I want my body, mind, body, and soul to be able to support me in whatever I want to do in life.
Yeah. And
so that's how I define optimum health. And that's where all those self-care pieces come in. And not only that, but so many women are so driven, and we accomplish great things, just like you're accomplishing great things with this Conversations with Klana, that sometimes we don't take care of celebrating those moments. And this is my number one of my 7 self-care habits for busy women, is that we take time to celebrate.
Yes.
We don't go from, okay, I finished that project, check it off the list. Okay, so what do I do next? And it's about sitting back and saying, oh man, I did this. Mm-hmm. I set up this podcast. Here's Klana. I set up this podcast. I'm bringing amazing women, and I'm making an impact. I'm going to sit with that for a moment
Yes.
and relish it. And I'm going to go have a nice dinner, or I'm going to go buy myself, some flowers. It's really also nurturing that part of ourselves that is accomplishing so many things and that we have a lot to celebrate, and building that into part of your self-care practice.
Exactly. And that's not bragging about yourself. It's just really value what you've done.
Yes.
Yeah. Also something that we usually don't learn.
Right. It's about tooting your horn and then celebrating your accomplishments, no matter how small they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you want to celebrate for yourself today?
I want to celebrate the fact that I'm getting close to releasing this book. I've been working on this for several years, Klana, and I am at a point now where I'm birthing my baby. And just the little steps every day that get me closer to that is just a celebration of, I stuck with it. I didn't give up. And
Congratulations.
yeah, right. I surrounded myself with the right people, which is another self-care. So surrounding yourself, which is number 3 of the self-care habits, is surrounding yourself with people that always encourage you.
Yeah.
That support you, that are doing equal to or are inspiring for you, because there may be a step or 2 steps and being ahead of you, and surrounding yourself with those kind of people, so that when you have one of those days where you tell you tell yourself, how could this have happened, right? And then you pick up the phone and you talk to Klana, and Klana says, worse things have happened, Pat. And they help you put things in perspective. So it's important to have that support group, and that's really has meant a lot. And you and I have been in part of a support group from programs that we participated in maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe, where we really helped each other start our foundation and getting ourselves grounded and having our passions come out and having the ability to brainstorm and really support each other on what our dream business is. So you've been part of that for me.
Yes, and you for me too. So this is the reason why you are here now.
Yes.
And it's really important to go out and to make connections with other like-minded people and to discern with whom you want to be with.
Yes.
So, and this is me who's saying that. I am a hermit. And I'm learning to go out more and meeting people. So I can only encourage everybody to doing so.
Right. The connection with people is very important, especially with times, in this particular times, with a pandemic. So many women feel so isolated at home. And that social circle that we were used to on a regular basis is gone. And it's about picking up the phone and calling people and hearing the voice, and will you meet me for coffee, and taking those small steps to really start connecting with people, because we need that right now more than ever.
And luckily we have this technical equipment nowadays, and the internet, the World Wide Web, so that we can do that even if we are not allowed to go out, or there are other possibilities, and not so many possibilities to meet people in person.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, right, what will we do without Zoom?
Yeah.
Right?
Zoom.
I mean, it's a perfect, and WhatsApp, and there are so many other apps that allow us to really connect, that we have really no excuse.
Yeah. Pat, who is coming to work with you?
I work, and the women that are coming to work with me are women who have had a business for several years now. They at least 5 years. They're in the 6-figure, and they've hit a plateau. They've hit a plateau in their business, and they're looking to make that jump to the next level of revenue, impact, creating more of a balance in their life, and really doing it consciously. So being very conscious about the decisions that they're making, and bring in, and they're they are tired of having their life out of balance, and they want more ease and grace. I want my life to be easier. I want to grow a business that's easy, that aligns with me, because I'm tired of working 50, 60 hours. And I want to be able to leverage my time, the people that I know, my services, my talents. Can you help me? And the answer is yes. We can do it one-on-one. I have VIP days. I do business retreats. And so there's a number of ways that women can work with me. And you can learn that by just going to the website, majesticcoachinggroup.com.
Cool. And I will put all the links that are necessary to contact you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Pat, thank you so much. And before we conclude, is there anything that's on your heart that you want to get rid of?
I want to give a gift to all your listeners, and it's 7 self-care habits for busy women. And if this interests you, if this resonates with you, I invite you to go find me at Alva Kraker on Instagram. Follow me and send me a message saying, send me the 7 self-care habits for busy women, and I will send that to you.
How cool is that?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the ability to make a difference with your audience.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Klana. Remember to follow us on social media and get connected. Visit our website, conversationswithklana.com, for show notes and additional episodes. And if you like this broadcast, please share it with your friends to help us empower more women to live an authentic and happy life and make this world a better place for everyone.